Hi, I'm Lee Martin, and RCTV have invited me to a block party. This is the Jenga in the world.
It's not Jenga, it's tumbling tower block game, £6 from the works.
Curry or pizza? Pizza. That's a tough one because I do like curry, but I have way more pizza, so I'm gonna have to say pizza, aren't you? What category of RC racing would you like to try? I think I would like to do, I'd probably like to do some fifth scale. I'd have a go at fifth scale off-road. Yeah, some of the short course stuff looks pretty fun. It probably isn't.
That's a large scale sleep going on there.
But it looks fun. All right, here we go. Bottom one. Where do you live? I live in Newbury, quite far from here. Right. Best RC car you've ever driven? Well, I'm not going to say anything current because that's boring. So the best RC car before my current cars would be the Tamiya 511. You can also watch a video of that if you do your search properly. Thank you, little car. What do you want to achieve in RC in the next 5 years? Well, that's assuming I'm still in RC in the next 5 years, but for me now it's probably about teaching the new generation of drivers. I would say trying to make RC easier to access than it currently is. Maybe by building a track or something where we can invite new people, schools, younger guys to come and really get involved with RC racing. So basically just trying to heighten RC racing as a whole. What was your dream RC car? Well, I had them all, so it's hard to say a dream one. But I'll go back. One I have acquired was a Tamiya Avanti. It was actually my first car, and because I had no idea about RC cars back then, I basically ended up throwing it in a skip and wished I never did, so I managed to buy one. Again, it wasn't a re-release, it was an original, so it's pretty cool. So that's a dream RC car. What's been your toughest RC race? Anyone that I didn't win, because I didn't win for a reason. Like certain 8th scale races are always tough because you've got a lot of fast Europeans who would always put in a lot of effort, whereas if you were doing multi-classing, it was always hard to go and compete 8th scale at the highest level. So going to 8th scale worlds at Redovan, for example, was always super difficult to really get the result that you wanted. Where was your first RC race? So this was at a club local to my house. It's actually my school. So I found RC racing because I used to play a lot of sports. One day I was playing some sports, stayed after school, and it happened to coincide with an RC club starting up. And while I was waiting for my dad to pick me up, I looked through the window of the school main hall, and there was these cars going around. So when Dad arrived to pick me up, I asked him to come and have a look. The story then goes, we wanted to do it. We looked through the local free ads at the time, so where you sell stuff. It was kind of like eBay before the internet.
Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
And bought a Tamiya Avanti off of that. Went to the club, raced it one time. My good friend Nick Goodall's dad, Brian, he said, that car's too dangerous to race. It's got too many metal parts on it. You're basically going to cut someone's hand off.
You are still dangerous.
You can't use it. Go to this hobby shop, find something better. So we went and bought a Schumacher Cat 2000 from Apex Models. The rest is history.
Well, when you go to history, let's go into history.
Right, now we're getting tougher on this non-Jenga. Nitro or electric? Electric for me. It always has been closest to my heart because I started racing electric. Nitro is great fun, I enjoy driving it, but there's something about electric that always just appeals. Favorite ice cream? Now, are we talking ice cream or are we talking like ice lolly things? Because those Magnum, like billionaire ones are pretty fantastic. So I'll go for that. If we're talking about ice cream, then you can't beat a bit cookie dough Haagen-Dazs. See, I get to this point where I'm like, do I want to carry on answering questions or should I just smash the tower over? Dish wheels or spokes? Dish. Easy. Easy, easy. It's all about the middle ones. I can hold it because I know you want more of me on this. So, Euros win or DNC TITC Euros win. Again, it was just one of those things that I just had a real connection to, the European Championship. It was something when I was growing up, I always wanted to win. I managed to achieve that dream. And even at some points, it's weird to say, but it felt bigger to me than winning a Worlds at one point, because that was my goal. And the Worlds kind of came after. Although I definitely did want to win a Worlds too, but got close. Burger or pasta? Now, two different places. If I'm at home, pasta. If I'm out, burger. Because I wouldn't order pasta in a restaurant because I think I can make it just as good. I'm gonna get some like Jenga something.
Don't say that.
That it's gonna tell me I'm not allowed to use two hands. Apart from yourself, who has the coolest race paint? Well, I am going to say, I mean, there's lots of cool ones out there, but one that's just iconic for me is Maifield's. I always liked his body scheme, although the colors weren't to my taste. So actually in the early days, and you'll probably see from some of my early body shells, they are Maifield's designed with my colors. So I'm gonna say Maifield. And we're close friends, but I'm sure he won't watch this, so I don't have to be embarrassed. Best RC driver ever. Maifield. Like fanboy it now, jeez. There you go, one in the middle here. You can only keep one world's title. I don't have one. Or you can only win one world's title. Well, obviously I'd win one world's title, so that's a terrible question.
What a stupid question.
I'll tell you what, the one I would have wanted to win. So the one I came second at, Chico Worlds 2013, I just missed out on the win. I would have loved to have won that because I think the hardest Worlds you could possibly win is one in America. How high do you reckon I'd go with this? I have to get brave. What music would you want for your hype walk-on song? That is a good question. I am actually not sure. I don't know. I'm a bit of a like an indie music fan. So it wouldn't be too crazy. But I do like Ed Sheeran, so maybe it's Ed.
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
He does some cool stuff, but I actually don't have a particular song that I would like. Maybe let's go Naive by the Kooks, but for no particular reason. I mean, it's a good song. It's forgotten about. Euros win. Oh, I've already done that one, so I'm basically right to the top. So basically I've completed the game. Oh, no, there's one. Proudest RC result. So the first time I won Euros from 2010, it was a pretty crazy year for me. I'd left Associated after 10 years, decided to try and venture out and do something new. I went with Tamiya because I love what the brand was. Had a very successful year, but the European Championship that year is what I put a lot of my effort into, and I managed to win every qualifier and the first two legs of finals in both classes. So you could say that was pretty successful, and that paved the way for my career because without that I wouldn't be where I am now, for sure. I'd be somewhere far nicer. That's going to be one I've already done. I'm just gonna, whoa. Yeah, that's never going to work. Name a driver you've ever had beef with. Tommy Hall. I'm joking because he stood there. You don't know that. Driver I've ever had beef with. In the early days, there was a driver. His name was Borja Hernandez, Spanish guy, and we had beef at a Neo buggy once, where he was just taking everyone out, and I decided that it was not very fun to do that. So yeah, we had a bit of beef, and then it's bad. Like, the year later at the Spanish Euros for Temscow, his missus was like spitting at us and stuff. It wasn't very nice.
Ew, people suck.
But hey, that's what you like, that's what you like. Who is your biggest rival? And that is a great one to end on because Neil Craig. He's my biggest rival, one of my best friends in RC, one of my best friends, period. So yeah, he's been my biggest rival, but I'm very glad to say that he was. There we go. That's it. Thanks.
Hey there, we can't believe it, but you've made it to the secret after show.
Yes! First, we want to honor our heroes.
And for everyone else, we don't want to say goodbye. We want you to join us.
Yeah, if you want us to be able to keep making this content and coverage, there's a few ways that you can help.
Yeah, first and most importantly, you can hit subscribe.
Then, if you really want to support us, you can become an RCTV Hero by joining the channel. Click join down below on YouTube, and the link for that is also in the description.
If you want to rep RCTV, then go to rcracingtv.com and buy some merch.
Finally, if you want to help us just keep the lights on, then you can buy us a coffee right here.
Right down there, or in person if we bump into you at the track.
Now, if you're still watching after all that, then it's time to pick your next clip. I would say the top one.
No, I think this one is way more their speed. I think this is the one that they'll like.
Okay. Well, either way, thanks and goodbye.